Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome to Adam McCullough TV. We are back with another Weekly United. Yes, it's that time of the week already. Can you believe it? The weeks are flying by, the days are going really quickly at the moment, and there's nothing to do. It's a real weird scenario that we're all in, but we're here again with the Weekly United and Adam McCullough TV to wrap up the week in the world of Manchester United and all that has been going on in the latest news, transfer rumours and all that good stuff. This is the place for it, so make sure you're joining us here every single week by hitting that subscribe button, and we have daily content as well, so why wouldn't you want to join? United Daily every single day, the Gazette on Mondays, Rumorator on Tuesdays, Master Debaters on Wednesdays, the Weekly United on Thursdays, Friday straight up MUFD, Saturday FIFA or a special video, and on Sunday you get to Pod to Nowhere as well. It's 2 videos a day and you can get all of that by subscribing, and some of you have joined as well, so thank you to you guys that have become members of the channel to get a little bit more, get exclusive content, get bonuses out of the channel and help the growth of Adam McCullough TV. So thank you to you guys. If you want to find out more about that, click the join button. Of course, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you're subscribing. But for right now, let's get stuck into the Weekly United because we've got so much to discuss. We'll be ending the show, of course, with some good news as always, some happy news to try and make us feel a little bit better at this moment in time. But we're also talking about a potential return date for Manchester United and their first team to be in training. We're talking about Germany going crazy for Manchester United's potential next number 7. Rio Ferdinand has been defending Paul Pogba in his, I say war of words, it's been pretty one-sided from Graham Souness, but in his war of words with Graham Souness. So Rio is saying something about that, and we'll get a clip from Rio from the Beautiful Game podcast as well. Thomas Partey's agent has had a little bit of a bluff, a little bit of a gaff on Instagram, on social media, and we'll be looking at that. Ed Woodward's quotes this week as well as ending the show with that good news, so make sure you're keeping it locked on. Right now we're getting stuck into that chat about Manchester United's potential to return to training. Now this headline says new chores Manchester United players told to wash their own kit ahead of a return to training in May. Now the reports are United will look to return around May 18th to training. Now if the return to training May the 18th, that's because there's talk that the Premier League could be returning behind closed doors in June. Now that would give United around 3 weeks to get ready for that. They need some sort of pre-season to get fit. All the players, yes, they've been at home doing different fitness regimes and hopefully eating correctly and all those things, but there's nothing quite like having a football at your feet, playing competitively, even if it is in training, and they've lost that, so they need to get fitness again. They need to get that match sharpness again. And all these teams are going to need some sort of pre-season and period in training. So United are hoping to have their lads back in on May the 18th, but things are going to be very, very different. Not only like here are the players going to have to do their own washing up of their training kit and things like that, their boots. They're not going to be able to use the showers at the Aon Training Complex at Carrington. They're going to have to shower at home. They're going to have to do things very, very differently in smaller groups, with still keeping that social distancing guidelines in play as well, because they have to go by whatever the government's saying in the particular country. And obviously United being in England, we have to go by the current guidelines, and social distancing is still in play. So the groups would be smaller, but there'd be some sense of a return to normality, at least in terms of training for players and getting back out there. Now some players are going to be maybe living on their own. There's a lot of youngsters that, you know, probably live on their own or whatever, have small families. They're going to be feeling very isolated at this moment in time, like many people are around the world, and they're going to be probably buzzing at the fact of getting back into training and getting back into the swing of things. But still, a return of football for me can't be too close or can't be near on the cards, because of the simple fact that it's a big risk, man. Imagine you go ahead with all these games behind closed doors, and let's just say there's a lot of people involved. Apparently you need 200-300 people to get a game of football ahead, a game of Premier League football, including TV staff. Just say one person amongst all those people gets the virus, either spreads it or is really ill in intensive care and all that, loses their life. Touch wood, that doesn't happen, because we all want football, but what if that did happen? And that's the thing, they're going to have to work on the worst case scenarios. And if that happens, that opening up in a whole nother world of lawsuits and things like that. And it's just morally not right. So whether football can go ahead or not, I'm not too sure. but seemingly May the 18th is the date United will be back in training. Now, we hear about Jadon Sancho every single week, and of course we're covering him here on United Daily on pretty much a daily basis, and he pops up in the weekly United rumour rater. His name is one that's often linked to Manchester United. Now, Germany and Bild in particular have gone absolutely crazy, and as you can see some of the centre pages there from them with Sancho in that number 7 shirt mocked up, and they're saying how Manchester United have offered him the chance of superstardom at Manchester United, the number 7 shirt, to be part of a big project and to maybe become a legend at the club. And that is something that Jadon Sancho is very, very much interested in, and it's looking like all things are pointing towards a deal happening. Now, we've heard in recent weeks that, you know, deals were being discussed before the coronavirus pandemic and all that kind of thing, but now it's been put on hold, and we're hoping that those, I'm sure agents and players and clubs are still discussing things, but it's difficult to see, like, you know, when's football going to start. So do you put a bid in now, or do you wait and think, yo, maybe we can get him a little bit cheaper if we just hold on, and Dortmund get a little bit more desperate for the money? There's a lot of things that come into play here, so we're going to have to wait, and there's going to be a lot more storylines and headlines like this one, and mock-ups and different things going on and different updates. But I am getting that feeling that we are seeing our future number 7 here, and the transfer saga playing out in front of us, and eventually it will end with Jadon Sancho at Manchester United. You hear Chelsea aren't in the race for him anymore, and that's something again, build, repeat. And if that's the case, it looks like it's a one-horse race for Man United, and we've just got to cough up the money. If that's 100 million or whatever, it looks like United may be in a position to do that, and he'll be our player. So fingers crossed on that one. But I'm feeling more confident as the weeks go by. Now, Rio Ferdinand has been defending Paul Pogba, and he's been speaking to the lads from the Beautiful Game podcast. Now, they've sent us over a little clip for you guys to see and to hear Rio Ferdinand's thoughts himself. Here they are.
Do you feel that the criticism he's received is fair?
Boy, he ain't even played football this year. Like, I don't know how his name's in people's mouths. Like, he hasn't even played football. I don't understand it. Like, why are you chatting about Paul Pogba? Like,
yeah,
he didn't play this season, really. So he shouldn't be in the conversation. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, he's a great player, huge profile. I understand all that, yeah. But he's being judged or made the villain in this season that he's played really no part in. So I don't get it. And I mean, obviously, Graham Souness made a statement about put your medals on the table. But boy, listen, Mauri's got a World Cup medal winner's medal. Like, it's hard to chat to someone when you've got a World Cup.
Obviously, I think they think his career started when he was at Man United or something.
Yeah, he won 3 or 4 like Scudettos in Italy. He's not like he's won stuff. So I know. Listen, Graham Souness is a great player and he's won a lot of stuff. But listen, and my generation, and even worse for Graham Souness and all them guys' generation, they got to understand that these players don't look at them sometimes. They don't understand. They don't know who they are. Like for Paul Pogba to say he don't know who he is or wouldn't know him as a footballer, I believe that. Like, it's not disrespectful. He don't know him. As great a player as Souness was, he was a top player, one of the best. If you was talking about the best British midfielders we've ever produced, he's in the conversation. 100% Graham Souness is a bad player. But Paul Pogba don't know him. Simple as that. And that's just a difference of generations. So he won't. I don't think it's disrespectful. But listen, if I was Paul Pogba, I'd said the same thing. But I would have said it from a disrespectful standpoint, because I've been saying, you've been dissing me all this time, I've not kicked the ball. Why are you talking about me for? So, and listen, and I'm honest about Paul, because I love Paul, because he's a great kid. I've known him since he was a young boy, and I still chat to him now. But like, the only problem I have with Paul is that I just think he should chat, instead of his agent chatting. If he'd done that, there'd be more clarity on the whole situation. So,
have you told him that, Rio?
Yeah, I spoke to him about all that type of stuff. But Paul's his own man, and going to deal with it his own way, and I respect that.
So that's Rio Ferdinand's thoughts on Paul Pogba, on Graham Souness, and on the criticism that he has received. Now, you can see the full podcast. It's a great one. The link's in the description below. Make sure you check out the lads at the Beautiful Game. And he's saying, look, he's not played football for a year, and this geezer's obsessed with Paul Pogba. What is he chatting about? And I'm glad that, look, I know Rio's had his opinions on Paul Pogba's future and kind of want him to come out and clarify things as well, which we agree with. But I'm glad someone's actually coming out and defending him too. because there's a lot of criticism of Paul Pogba. There's a lot of people that criticise Paul Pogba as well. Oh, go on, Graham, give us another quote on Paul Pogba. Tell us how much you hate him. And actually, it's great to hear Rio Ferdinand coming out and saying, actually, the kid's not disrespected him, but he should have disrespected him. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what you want to hear. If I was Paul Pogba, I would have come out and said, fuck Graham Souness. But he didn't. He's a polite boy. He's a kind boy. He came out and he said it respectfully, and everyone wanted to think it was a dig and started talking about put your medals on the table. Taking the piss. Pogba had more medals than Souness at this age currently. Let's at the end of their careers see who's got the most and who has done what, because I have no doubt that Paul Pogba will probably be leading ahead of Graham Souness and will go down in the history books a lot longer, despite what Graham Souness achieved. Thomas Partey's agents had an absolute mare, haven't they? They've posted a social media post, reposted a post onto their agency Instagram saying pick Thomas Partey's next club, with all sorts of clubs in there, Manchester United, Arsenal, this, that and the other. And they've had to come out and apologise straight away and blame someone else and say, oh, we've had to retract permissions onto the page and we're not allowing anyone to post and all that. But come on, they know what they're doing. They're playing the game. They're heating up the rumour mill. They're heating up the gossip columns. They're getting everyone talking. They hear United fans are interested in him. Arsenal fans want him too. He's a well sought after player with a release clause, and they'll be knowing they can make a lot of money out of him. So I'd have no surprise that they're doing this on purpose to create attention and to create headlines around their player. United should be interested in him. Defensive midfield's a position that we need to strengthen on, no matter whether Matic stays or not. And Thomas Partey is a player that would improve our first 11. If United want to make that deal happen, go and make it happen. But hopefully their agents aren't acting like knobheads for a long time. This was clearly something that was done with a little bit of thought behind it. And I suppose it's agents just playing the game, isn't it? They've got to create heat for their players. They've got to create headlines, more heat. It's probably more money in their back pockets, and with a release clause there, knowing that they can probably get someone to pay his release clause and get a healthy signing on fee and an agent's fee, they'll be all over that one. So keep an eye on that. I wouldn't be surprised to see things heat up. Not sure whether he'll come to Manchester United or not, as much as I would like him to. Now, we heard Ed Woodward last week kind of make a warning saying that, you know, transfer market's not going to be what it is. And I think he was talking pretty much sense last week. And he's come out this week and said United still aim to be highly competitive in the transfer market, backing Ollie and saying that, you know, yes, it's a weird time at the moment and we have to wait to see how things play out. But as soon as the transfer window comes again, we'll be there looking to improve our team and helping Ollie build on the progression. Now, it's the kind of thing that you'd expect them to come out and say. You have to come out and say that. It's actions which count. Now, if we're hearing news about Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish, Thomas Partey, all those things, and we can get some deals done early in the day once we know what's going on, then that would show a little bit more seriousness. Because look, we're not going to make many deals in the summer, but if we get our business done nice and early, there's no fucking around, there's no gossip for weeks, there's no hankering on. Look, we hear in Dortmund say, here's a price, pay it. You've got him, even though they're saying that they're relaxed and all that. They know they're going to be selling Jadon Sancho, so go make the deal happen. Get Ighalo signed up permanently, early doors, and then we can relax for the rest of the window. If we want to go out and venture into signing a DM or a centre-back, we can relax because we know we've got some key areas plugged into the team. Right wing is important. So I hope they back up their words with action in the summer. And as always here on the Weekly United, we're going to try and end it with some good news. And today's good news is United will be delivering 60,000 meals to NHS staff. Now, I'll say it again, the NHS shouldn't be requiring charitable donations to be functioning as they should be. They should be well funded by the government and the powers that be. But let's not go there right now. This is some good news, and I think, look, no matter whether it's just for good PR or to get people off Ed Woodward's and the Glazers back, whatever the reasons behind it, ultimately it's leading to some good. And we're seeing the Manchester United Foundation here fund 60,000 meals to go out to NHS staff in the local areas, and that's massive. That's absolutely massive. So well done to the Manchester United Foundation, and I think well done to the whole club in their reaction and their response to this coronavirus pandemic. It has been refreshing. So guys, there you have it. That has been the Weekly United. Thank you for tuning in to Adam McCullough TV. Make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing and joining if you can too. Make sure you're keeping it locked to Adam McCullough TV, you absolute legends. For now, I have been Adam McCullough. This has been the Weekly United. I'm out of here.